Hey, this is Tubby Guru 471, your champion of WWE knowledge since 1996. What I want to talk about is Monday Night Raw. What happened this past Monday Night Raw? First off, it was good. It was a good Raw. I'd give it a 9. I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. Anyway, what happened first was Laurinaitis comes out and sucks up, gives that suck up smile to the WWE fans, and sucks up to the superstars. The matches were, the main event was going to be a Divas Championship match between Beth Phoenix and Eve. The next match, another match he made was Kofi Kingston versus The Miz. Then the third match and final match he made, he messed up on big time on. He says Dolph Ziggler versus a man who returns to the ring in over 6 weeks, over a month. Dumbass. You need to hear this, Laurinaitis. If you're saying return in over 6 months, 6 weeks, which is a month, for a month, then you're saying that Randy Orton can't compete within the next 5 weeks. Dumbass. Anyway, Randy Orton defeats. Okay, then CM Punk comes out, interrupts him, makes fun of Laurinaitis. Laurinaitis just smiling, sucking up to Punk. Then Daniel Bryan comes out. Oh, he also made World Heavyweight Championship match between champion versus champion match between first ever WWE and World Heavyweight Championship champions clash. Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk. We'll get to that later. Later on in the show. Anyway, then then Daniel Bryan comes out. He rambles on saying CM Punk's not much of a challenge. CM Punk goes, okay, you're right. All I am is the best in the world. And then Sheamus comes out, reminds everyone he won the Royal Rumble. He's gonna main event WrestleMania, and maybe he might just become. He didn't reveal who he's gonna face. For a minute, people were thinking that he's gonna face the WWE champion, because he says, and maybe at the end of the night, I might just become the new WWE. Looks at Punk for a second, states people think he's gonna face Punk, then goes over to Bryan and says, our World Heavyweight Champion. That means he still hasn't made his decision. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, maybe after Elimination Chamber, he's going to make his decision. But I'm looking forward to Sheamus being in the main event at WrestleMania. I predicted that Sheamus was going to win. Sheamus was my favorite. Anyway, Sheamus comes out, tells Laurinaitis, I also can remind them that Laurinaitis, at the end of tonight, you could be fired. Laurinaitis just smile and say, hey, it's possible, maybe, I don't know. I don't think I will. Anyway, the promo, he ends the thing. Sheamus ends the confrontation between all of them with a little saying that his father or grandfather or mother or grandmother used to tell him, most likely it was his grandfather, told him when he was a kid. So next, tells him, don't let the dog bit you, don't let the door hit you where the dog should have bit you. Stuff like that. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Basically like that. So that ends the promo. Next, our next topic is our next topic is are the matches. Okay, so the first match was Dolph Ziggler versus Randy Orton. So Randy Orton sits there, and Randy Orton sits there, and he defeats Dolph Ziggler. Wade Barrett's putting his take on the match, stuff like that. The next match was, I believe it was the Funkasaurus Brodus Clay taking on Tyler Rex. Tyler Rex got squashed, but he did last a good 4 minutes. But he got squashed. He started out by attacking him. He made Brodus Clay mad. That's something you don't want to do. Brodus Clay loves to have a fun time, but you push him too far and he gets mad, and you don't want that. He didn't say my bad or anything because he meant to do that. So I would too. Anyway, so that was a squash match, less than 4 minutes, longer than any other match, but again, it was a squash match. So, anyway, next after that was the CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan match. That match ended with Daniel Bryan winning by disqualification. The way that it got disqualified, Jericho came out, threw Daniel Bryan out of the ring. Threw him out of the ring. And he threw him out of the ring. He threw him out of the ring, went over, gave the code breaker to CM Punk, gave that smug look, that prima donna smug look, like I don't care about any of you. The non-Y2J, the regular Chris Jericho. So, and that is going to start the rivalry between CM Punk and Chris Jericho. Next, no one knows what he means by it'll be the end of the world. You know, maybe it's two people that claim that they're the best in the world, and it'll be the end of the world as we know it when they clash. I think that might be it. Two of the best in the world will face off, and that's what he means by it'll be the end of the world as you know it. Two of the best face off, and one will prevail. Will truly call himself the best. I think that's what he means by that. So that's my guess. The next was in the next part of my talk was the third inductee. First we had Edge, then we had the Four Horsemen, then we had now in the celebrity wing, Iron Mike Tyson. Iron Mike Tyson gets inducted. Iron Mike Tyson gets inducted, and next it goes to R-Truth comes out for this next match because it's Miz versus Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston defeats The Miz with the Trouble in Paradise. R-Truth applauds Kofi Kingston. They were discussing about the Royal Rumble, stuff like that. Anyway, the next match was, I forgot what the next match was, but after that match was the Divas match. The Divas match was next, and Beth Phoenix squashed her. It lasted 3 minutes. The match lasted maybe 2 minutes. A minute and a half, 2 minutes. 2 minutes the most. But it was a squash match. Of course, it was a squash match. The Diva. Anyway, Beth Phoenix squashed Eve. So next is the status of Mr. John Laurinaitis. This is going to take the rest of the video to discuss. So this is going to take a good 10 minutes to discuss. So I got to break it down in 3 minutes. I got to break it down in 3 minutes. So what happens? Laurinaitis comes out again, sucks up to the crowd. So next, after Laurinaitis sucks up to the crowd, Laurinaitis sucks up to the crowd, and then the most dumbest thing he did, he rated himself on his performance. Yeah, of course he's going to give himself high scores because he's sucking up to the COO, Triple H. Triple H doesn't buy any of it. He says, you've given a lot of 0. Triple H comes out and says, you've given yourself a lot of 5s. But he says all the truthful things, which are true. And then he goes and he keeps going on and on and on, and finally says, Laurinaitis, they let Mr. McMahon go because Mr. McMahon let personal issues get the better of him. So he had to resign. I let personal issues get the best of me, so I had to resign. They let me go. You have let personal issues get to you on multiple occasions. So he says, John Laurinaitis, I wish you the best in your future, and then cut off by one man, or should I say, Phenom, The Undertaker. Yeah, I'm talking about The Undertaker. Undertaker comes out, he comes up to the thing, Triple H, before Undertaker comes out, he says, they have finally looked that I am able to keep my personal issues aside. Put my personal issues aside. So now, excuse me. So now, Undertaker comes out. He looks at Triple H, looks at the wrestling media sign, turns around, and then does the curtains, the slinging of the throat. That's vintage Undertaker saying he wants Triple H at WrestleMania. Triple H sits there, takes his hand, and puts it on the shoulder of the Undertaker. Pats his shoulder. He won't accept it because he wants to put personal issues aside. Because he says the next time he lets personal issues get the best of him, he could lose his job. He might be in big doo-doo. Laurinaitis walks off. We never know if Laurinaitis gets fired or not. So, anyway. He walks off. Undertaker looks at the crowd, then looks at the WrestleMania 28 sign, and he, it's cut off after that. It ends. Well, I liked that. I liked that episode. I liked how it ended. I liked how it began. I liked the matches. Brodus Clay vs. Tyler X I liked. My favorite match of the night was probably the even though it ended in disqualification, non-disqualification wise, I liked the Randy Orton Dolph Ziggler match. But overall, out of all the matches, whether it be by disqualification wise something like that. I like Daniel Bryan versus. I didn't like how it ended, but I liked the match. I liked the Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk. I'd probably give it maybe 8 out of 10. The others I'd give it lower than 8. The Randy Orton, I give an 8. So both of those matches I give an 8. 2 thumbs up. So subscribe at the top. Comment on the bottom.